Apple earnings versus the coronavirus. It is January 27th. It's a Monday. And today I want to talk about, by the way, this is the video log that takes 30,000 to a million. And I want to talk about Apple earnings versus the coronavirus. So, I mean, it sounds interesting. There's obviously some outbreak of this virus going on. And the big deal is what it's supposed to do is that it's supposed to have an effect on economic activity. Like, for example, if you were sick or if you had some travel plans to China or some business meeting, you would delay that, you would postpone it, or maybe even cancel it. Like maybe you had a vacation, maybe you were going to see your family in China or something like that, but you end up not doing it because of the possibility of contracting this virus. And so the theory goes that it would be postponed or eliminated. But the thing about it is that although the revenue is missing momentarily, it's definitely postponed. It's not eliminated because that spending power persists, right? The spending power persists that you. So, for example, if I didn't spend $1,000 on a plane ticket, I still have that $1,000 and I can spend them on something else. Even if I cancel my trip, I can still spend them or I can invest them. So this it's really a poor argument for eliminating economic activity. You just could postpone it and delay it a little bit, but it's definitely going to happen. And even if it's not spent, it's probably going to be invested, or even if you just shove it in the banks will loan it out. So there we go. So that's what's going on with that. But I have to show you the account. I still haven't done that. I'm $2,000 off the high. I'm sitting at 77,530, mainly due to a little bit of Apple pullback, and also the big loser, of course, well, everything lost today, pretty much, that anyone owns. Well, I guess Newmont Mining was up a tiny bit. It's interesting because all the silver and gold miners are down, as well as Cameco. I'm losing $304 from Cameco alone. Cameco has been an absolute downtrend. I mean, it's lost almost 7% over the week, 8% over the month. So it's not doing very well at all. The 3 months is down 10.5%. Now, normally I wouldn't be this worried, and it looks like if I pull out to a 5-year chart, it looks like it's going to be hitting some resistance here at the $8 mark. So I'm hoping that it rebounds, kind of like it did over here at the very least. But what is worrying is that there's a new established downtrend of lower lows, and you can see lower highs. Lower high here, lower high here. This is Robinhood is obviously not the perfect tool to look at technicals, but there's some really strong resistance. Hopefully it bounces off, and hopefully I will gain some premium off of this sideways hopefully bottoming process. It could break though if if this downtrend continues of lower lows and lower highs, then it will break this support line of $8 or so, and I'll be looking at some heavy losses, and I'll have to rethink what I'm doing here as far as my call and put option selling strategies that I've already involved, like, $20,000 almost. Well, let's see. Well, 13,000 here. Okay, like $15,000. So these are all the current contracts I have for Cameco. I have 500 shares as collateral, as well as $2,450 worth of puts. Not too many, but it's quite a bit. And my position in Cameco is quite sizable. It's 1,600 shares. Very, very large position. So if Cameco were to go up by $1 to 9.23, which it was like a week ago, that would mean $1,600 higher for my account. It's quite big. Now the big thing is, so which one's gonna be more? Which one is gonna be stronger? Is it gonna be Apple? Because Apple usually always beats on earnings, so I'm pretty confident they're gonna beat on earnings this time as well. And normally, the stock goes up because of that. Even if it priced in a beat in earnings, it still ends up going up because of something they say on the earnings call, or for whatever reason, the apple usually goes up. The apple. So what's gonna win? Is coronavirus going to be stronger? The effect that it might have on the markets and pull Apple down, especially since a lot of Apple's revenue is from China, a good amount, and they're focusing there quite heavily on having some expansion, and or is it going to be, Apple's earnings beating expectations again? I'm betting on Apple personally. Now, even though I've sold quite a bit of shares, I did sell some debit spreads, and I want to show you those debit spreads right now. So here they are up at the top. You can see I've sold one here from 315. I have a 315 to 322.5, and I also have another call debit spread from 310 to 317.5. Alright, so that one's pretty neutral so far. I'm only down $3 on that. At the moment, I think I'm down quite a bit more on the other one. Let me see. We'll go back to it. $97 on this one. So I'm down about $100 total. Exactly $100 from both of them, and see if I make any money. I think the potential to make money is probably around $1,500, something like that, if it reaches 22.5. 322.5, but we'll see. We'll have to see. It would have to come back to a level. Oops, let's go to Apple. This is my weekly chart. I would have to go back to this level over here. It's all-time high basically in order for me to make money, but I think it's possible. I think this could be a temporary dip here. It's just a scare, nothing too serious. By the way, this virus could be pretty serious. Who knows? It all starts the same with these things. Like they have some cases reported. They don't have a way to fight it. They don't have vaccination or nothing, and the whole world kind of goes up in worrying. But I think the benefit that we have now is that we have a little bit of edge on nature because, well, I don't know why I'm talking about viruses right here, but the communication is just so instant nowadays, right? So if anything new appears on the map, like the entire global community can start working on it right away. Like every single doctor, so many resources available to figure this thing out, and within a week, this thing is like sequenced out. They know exactly what it is and how it functions, and so vaccines can be developed very, very quickly. And humans have just gotten so good at fighting these things. Like, it's good to be worried, and because it will motivate you to do something about it. But personally, knowing that I'm not doing anything that is connected in that field, then it's kind of pointless for me to worry. I mean, I can do preventative steps like every other citizen could, like stay away from physical contact as much as you can, or stay inside, or like whatever, wash your hands, things like that. But as far as being an active participant into getting rid of this thing, I'm just useless, right? I have nothing to do, so there's no really point in me worrying about all this stuff. So I don't, and I think that the market will get over it as well, especially when it seems like this thing will be contained. Probably not very soon, maybe in a week, but I'm hoping that at least the earnings for Apple are so impressive that Apple goes up despite the fact that the virus will probably get worse before it gets better. So that is my prediction here, and I've put quite a bit of money on it. I've put in about $400 for a maximum of gain of about 750 through this structure. I could have just bought calls without capping them and making to a call debit spread. By the way, if you don't know what this trade is, you can just actually did a video about it, maybe a video or two ago, on how to set this trade up. So you can just browse through my videos and you can find out how to exactly do it if you aren't aware. And it was inspired actually by a commenter. One person commented in one of my videos about it and as an idea. So I decided to pull it off here on the Apple earnings. So we'll see if the Apple will bring fruit to my system here, my betting strategy. Um, it is kind of a hard gamble, but what I find even more frustrating is this stupidly parabolic ride of stocks higher, and I'm just sitting on the sidelines, with a bunch of cash. Like I have, $17,000 worth of cash up now because I bought some uranium stocks and things like that. So you'll see right here, I have 70,181. Just got a $60 dividend from New York Mortgage Trust. But $70,000, quite a bit more purchasing power from possible margin. So I'm just sitting, like on 120 roughly grand worth of purchasing power now, maybe a little less now. But yeah, I'm just waiting for a big drop. But before the big drop, I'm thinking that Apple is going to react positively on this earnings. I mean, I really think it's a good setup. Let's go to Apple again and just see what it looks like. So this is the day chart. Nothing really. And this is the week chart. You can see here it was at 323 and now it's at 309. It sounds like a really big drop, but we're just dealing with such huge numbers now that, a $15 drop would be quite a bit when it was down into the 150s. But right now, up at the top, it's just only 2.4%. It's not really, on the week anyways, it's not really that big a deal. So I'm curious to see. There's a lot of analysts that price the stock everywhere, but almost everybody agrees that it's on an upward trajectory. There are some analysts that peg it down at 180 valuation. Morningstar here on Robinhood Research has it at 220, but it's been there for quite some time. They're probably going to update it higher. It looks like it's been updated on January 3rd, but I don't know. They'll probably update it higher. And there are others who put it all the way up at 400 price target. I mean, I am a Apple bull, and I actually did a video about my Apple thesis, so you can search for it, and why I'm bullish on Apple. So I'm kind of not upset, but no, I don't regret. But I wish that I could have kept more of Apple on this run up to 323. I mean, I sold some stuff pretty early on and I closed some positions, and I kept the call against Apple for quite some time, thinking it might drop, but it never did. And so I missed out on a lot of upside from the company, and now I'm trying to make up for some of that by playing around the earnings, and hopefully I get it right. I mean, if I don't, it'll be pretty painful. That'll be another $500 loss on top of all the other stuff that keeps losing the account. But I'm confident that I'm gonna make it up over time, and even if I have a temporary slowdown, I'm still waiting for that big bet to pull the trigger on margin and make some serious gains. Because nowadays, if you don't buy the dip, you're dumb, right? So that's what I plan on doing. I'm gonna buy the dip. So everybody else probably will as well, and that's how it goes. All right, I think that's enough blabbering for now. Wish me luck, y'all, and hopefully you're making more money than I am out there. All right, I think that's it for now. Peace out.